This is Demon's Rise, War for the Deep on Nintendo Switch. This is my quick review. I played several hours of this game, enjoyed it. Still got it on my system. Definitely worth picking up because it's a very addictive game. It's not the most beautiful looking of games. I said that during my live stream of the game. But it's one of those games that has a lot going for it. It's very much an in-depth RPG. Very user-friendly. The camera angles took a little while to get used to, but once you get used to the camera angles and navigating the dungeons using the camera, it's actually quite simple, and it gets intuitive, and you really get the hang of it. And it's not a chore to play this game. It's actually quite good fun. Decent loot. You can pick your own team as well, so you can either select the 4 set teams, or you can pick your own team or warband and select your own characters. If I just pick a normal pre-selected team with various skills, then you will do really well in the game. But if you pick your own warband, your own team, you can do it even better. You can just pick the ones that suit you, the characters that you like, rather than just being thrown this motley crew here. And there's some good ones, some long range, some strong brawny types, you know. So you have like the warriors, the magicians, a healer, people like that. You need a bowman at least. So I found that using the warband, creating my own team, was the best thing to do, because you can just select who you want. And the best thing about it is, if you don't like a certain member, you can go to the inn or the tavern and you can just pick another team member, or you can hire a mercenary to make your team of 6 become 7. So yeah, you can up the ante, more team members to add to your warband, making some of the harder levels in this game does get hard a breeze. But if you like more of a challenge, and just leave it at normal difficulty and play through it, and you will find a lot to like. There are 30 characters to choose from. You will meet new ones as well, and you can meet them at the tavern, and you can hire the mercenaries that way. Some have their strengths and weaknesses, which are all fully explained in the game. Some are really odd, some are pretty cool, but again, I think the graphical presentation of some of the characters could have been a bit better. I just wish there was more detail in it, because it is a really good game. It's a hell of a lot of fun when you, when you've really got your team sorted, and it will take you a little while reading all the info, and it does go in depth a lot. It's a bit of a head scratcher, but once you've got your team together, it is a breeze, this game, at first. So you start here. You can play a quest. Patrol ruins, which is a bit like dungeon crawling. The quest is more fun. Buy supplies, straightforward. Visit a temple, basically perks. Visit the tavern, recruit people, and manage your gear, which is basically see what you got. I've not actually got too much gear, but if you hit the tavern, you can get a strong mercenary to help you through the harder levels, or you can adjust the difficulty level, of which there are 4 difficulty levels. Obviously there's easy, casual, hard, and just insanely difficult. And you get your ass handed to you, because the enemies can get tough as you go along. This game is pretty much straightforward. You got supplies where you can buy stuff, and it's in depth as well. There is a lot of gear here to find, and you'll find some of this in the dungeon crawling and quests. So it's best you stick with the quest and everything, because you won't have enough gold to buy all the good stuff. You'll have to wait until you're further into the game. There is so much to talk about with all this gear. As I said, it's a real big head scratcher. It's a typical RPG. It's not too heavy and in depth, because it is user friendly, and the info is right there. All the hit points, how much everything costs, what each weapon or magical item does, and of course you can collect things in the dungeon crawls and quests, which will help you. You can find some really good loot as well. So this is kind of old gameplay, so I've got to kind of think where I am here. There's not a lot to see, so not all the good stuff that I've collected since and well, I'll have to show in another video. But again, this game gives you introduction, holds your hand a little bit, and it's good because there's a lot to learn. You have control of the camera completely, which helps. Sometimes the view can be obscured, and or the enemies can be hidden behind cover. Some have, rifles, little flintlock things. Others are, they'll fire projectiles at you, spells, magicians, evil magicians. But you have your own team there. So I've got a team of 6, and I've got a mercenary to help me out here. He's right up the front where he should be. He'll be taking the flak. But of course, I'll move my heavy, my big ox dude, and a cannon, and a bowman, and a magician. All 4 will be there to back me up, while my heavy armor dudes will go straight through the middle. So it's positioning and tactics. It's quite simple, and it's a lot of fun. Knowing how many action points you're using up, and how many spaces and how far you can go, is just something you can learn. And the game does teach you the easy way, really. It's, as I said, it's a friendly game. It's very good for someone who hasn't played these turn-based games before, and it's really, really good, really addictive, I have to say. Sometimes you get frustrated when you power up your guy with a new weapon and bow and stuff, and he's missing hits and stuff like that. So that can be a bit annoying when you expect him to waste the enemy, and he ends up getting taken out because his first few hits missed. But that comes later on when the game gets tougher, and of course the difficulty level was a bit more high then, which I scaled back a bit. So yeah, the UI, the enemies are pretty clever as well. They will gang up on you. They will pick out a weak member. It's pretty cool. So, the world itself is pretty large. There is plenty of places to go. You're going to be playing this game for a long, long time. It's a lot of hours content here. At least 30 to 40, probably more if you took your time. There's plenty of things to actually keep you occupied. You find yourself inundated with quests. But when you start a campaign, you'll get the rundown, and then you'll meet some really odd-looking enemies, like this spider with a human head on, and the eyes blinking. So that's a boss fight here. Loads of spiders and bugs. This really is ticking the RPG boxes for me. I love spiders in films and games. Just that creepiness. You have to have a spider in a fight, and you can move your characters forward. Noticed in the campaign I've only got 6. But again, you can hire mercenaries if it gets too tough, or lower the difficulty level down. You'll collect items, gold, and you can go and collect them, or the whole area will be searched at the end. So don't worry about reaching the gold. You'll collect it all. It's a fun little game. You'll see there's tons of gold everywhere. It's a priority to spread out and take all that loot. When you collect all the loot, you power up, and you'll collect some really rare items if you're lucky. Scrolls and stuff to power up your character. It's a really interesting game. The specials, of course, must mention that. Each character has numerous specials they can use, and you'll collect them as you progress through the game. Trust me, 6 specials to pick from is pretty badass, and some of them are much better than others. Others just, raise the morale, heal, obliterate an enemy with one hit, give you special strength to resist any hits. It's really good variety in this game. It's a lot of fun to be had. It's just fun just to unlock a new skill set. So if you collect these scrolls, you'll unlock a spell to use as a special, which is pretty badass. So you're learning as you're playing. Your character levels up after so many points, and yeah, it's a typical RPG that plays really well on the Switch. I had a ball, enjoyed playing it live as well. I intend to play a few more hours of this on the live stream like I did last time, and it was just a lot of fun. It's really worth your money. All in all, not disappointed with this game. I was happy that it's played really well, and yeah, it's another RPG on the Switch that I can recommend. So yeah, look out for it, and hopefully you'll play a lot better than I am at the moment. Those purple bubbles are shields, which don't seem to work for me much. But I don't like the cannon, but again, I don't like that character. So the cannon guy, he eventually gets replaced in the next episode. Whenever that, I decide to put that out. The gameplay I've recorded for that, the character is replaced with a wizard. So it's always handy to have a couple of wizards, because the long range missiles can be upgraded, and that's kind of useful in a game like this. And yeah, definitely build up the characters, play the lower levels, get that gold, and power up your character, because you're going to need to. I said this game can be really tough, but it's a lot of fun. The enemies are very varied, characters, about 30 of them plus, a lot of fun, and yeah, definitely good. The only thing that's lacking is probably presentation in the menus, and again the graphics pretty last gen really, but hey, it's good and definitely worth a buy.